I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different, and every breakup is different. Work with me, and you'll get professional help on your situation. Just click on the link in the description below, or go to my website, askcraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth, and in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about it's complicated. So, sometimes romantic relationships can be very, very complicated. And in fact, sometimes there are other things going on in our life that take priority over our romantic relationships. Well, you could have a serious health issue that you have to deal with, or maybe you've got some type of mental health issue going on that has to get addressed before you can get into a healthy romantic relationship. And quite honestly, it hurts, but sometimes they do take priority. And I have a great email today from a woman who's in a similar situation to this, where there's some other things going on in her life that are affecting things. Now, before I talk about that email, I just wanted to talk about yesterday's video. If you missed it, you need to go watch it. It was a really good video. Yesterday's video was called He's Back and Forth. And as you saw, or if you didn't see yet, Margaret was with me for the first time in a long time. We'd been planning and talking about getting her in videos for months, and we were finally able to make that happen. And I really hope you enjoyed. I'm sure a lot of you guys were very shocked, and I wanted to keep it as a surprise for you guys, because I know so many of you guys have been watching my videos for a long time, and you're like, who is this? And now you finally see a little bit of who he is, or she is, and you'll get to know her a lot more in upcoming videos. Now, you notice I took my entire week off last week, and I know a lot of you guys were distressed and stressed out about that. Well, I can tell you it was not planned. What happened is I had my front tooth, I had a cap on my front tooth, which I've had on there since I was very little, probably like 11 years old. It fell out of my mouth over the weekend, and it took a few days before I could go to the dentist and could get it fixed. And even right now, there's just this temporary in there till in the next couple days where I get the final one put in there. But obviously, I could not do videos with no tooth in my mouth. It was just a little part of my tooth. It was embarrassing. You guys could understand why I did that. And also, the same thing happened. Everything kind of worked out, because if you didn't know this, it has been the 1 year of me putting out videos, the anniversary of that. I started putting videos out last June. I had uploaded videos a bunch in May to get ready, but they were all set to private, and then I released them all in June. Well, not all of them, but I think I released like 15 at one time, and then slowly one a day after that. But 265 videos in the last year. Is that not amazing, guys? I hope you've enjoyed all the content. It's been a tremendous amount of work, but I have to tell you guys, I appreciate all the love and support I get. I get emails every day thanking me for my work. When I talk to you guys in the Skypes and even the email coachings, you guys are always so kind to me, and I do appreciate that. So much love to you guys as well. Thank you guys for all the for all the support. I needed that break that last week to kind of regroup, to think about things and plan where I want to go with the channel. And obviously a big part of that was including Margaret in the videos. And I think you're going to really enjoy her. So, today's video, it's complicated. This is a video about a woman, or from a woman, in her late 30s. Now, she broke up with her ex 2 months ago. And this is what she had to say. She said, "My ex, Vern, and I broke up. I met him 15 years ago. He was married, and we ended up having an affair for about a year before his wife found out. Not the way you want to start a relationship. This guy, he doesn't have a lot of integrity. I could tell you that already. He had an affair for a year. How could he live with the guilt? Doesn't sound like he had much. What does that tell you about his internal fortitude as a man? It's not good for me, because he didn't come clean, he got caught. You got to think about that. We ended things, and eventually, about 2 years later, he did leave and got a divorce. He recontacted me, telling me he still loved me and thought of me and saw a future with me. We began dating again, but a few months, he told me that he had a vasectomy and didn't want any more kids. He wasn't upfront about that either. He waited a few months till he hooked her. Oh, by the way, now, she says, I was devastated. I was only 28 at the time, and I wanted a family with him. That is a definite deal breaker, and he probably knew that. And like I said, I don't think this guy is got a lot of emotional integrity. He's deceitful, and I think that he's doing it because he wants what he wants, and he doesn't care how it affects people. Look at his behaviors. Needless to say, we ended things again. I did meet a guy about 2 years later, and we were casually dating when I found out I was pregnant. He left, and I went through the pregnancy alone. Well, she found another nice guy here. Vern had moved on as well. We stayed in contact over the past 10 years, since he is friends with my family and we have mutual friends. He always told me he thought of me and wished things were different. Well, back in the fall, him and his ex-girlfriend of 8 years broke up, and we started talking again in December. So, now, he gets out of an 8-year relationship in the fall. So what is that? September, October? September at the earliest, right? And then October, November, December, like really, probably a month and a half later, he starts talking to her. Not a good idea. Do you think he's over an 8-year relationship in a couple of months? Not likely, and especially not likely with this particular guy. We both still had very strong feelings for each other, and since we were both single, we gave it another go-around. Things were going great. We started talking about a future together and spent as much time together as possible up until the end of March. We were dating for about 3 months, and he was having issues with getting his daughter on board with us being back together. Now, the daughter's older. She's close to her 20s. Let me finish this thought. She blames me for her parents' divorce. Well, you can imagine that this little girl was probably, around 10-ish when Dad winds up leaving Mom for this other woman, being her. So you can imagine that she is not too pleased with Dad dating this woman again. Do you blame her? Come on. Every kid wants to see their parents together. Well, obviously there are certain situations where that's not possible. Maybe there's abuse or serious issues going on. But for the most part, we can all agree that we want our parents together. And when somebody splits us up, we're going to blame them. Is it her fault? No. Of course, no. But partially, of course, we can't absolve her completely. Dad obviously is the one that made the decision to cheat on the mom. But this is the woman, and so she's going to hold a lot of anger towards her. I was having issues with my son, and now her son is younger, and his behavior at school. I then had a childhood friend pass away suddenly, and I was grieving over him. Vern then confided in me the last weekend we spent together that he had been suffering with erectile dysfunction for the past 10 years, and the only way he's been able to perform was with taking a pill. He completely broke down in front of me about it. He said he didn't feel like a man. Well, obviously, this was extremely embarrassing for him. And every guy handles that a little bit differently. Some guys are more put together well, where they know that there's a lot more to being a man than just performing in bed. I mean, let's be honest here. If that's the best you have to offer somebody, that's not a good sign. There should be a lot more to you as a human being than just you being able to perform in bed, right? So, some people don't see that and they distort reality and they see their sexual prowess as a sign of masculinity. Now, of course, there's some element of that, of truth, you would think, right? As being a man, you want to be able to function as a man, and it would be embarrassing. Obviously, you're not going to want to go around talking about it, but he felt comfortable sharing that with her. Wonder what happened after he shared all that, though. Because to me, I don't think this guy's put together very well. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of things that this is going to be an issue. I felt awful for him, but I tried to reassure him that I loved him and that we could work this out. So she was supportive. He is a smoker and doesn't eat properly. He wanted to start change that and asked me to help. He started to withdraw from me, and he seemed very depressed. He said if I ever cheated on him, he wouldn't recover. I didn't want him thinking that, so I offered him to come to a family function, even though my son would be there. So I'm guessing she was trying to keep her young son away from him because there were some issues with that, and maybe the son didn't want to be around him, and she's trying to show, look, I'm here for you, I love you, I'm there for you, even though you've got this issue going on. Freaked out and said, it's too soon, he's not ready. After a couple of days, we went out to dinner, and he started to say he needed some space, some time, and that things were moving too fast, and he's just not ready for a relationship with me yet. Well, okay, maybe when we're trying to be supportive for him, it came on as too much too soon, and he freaked out. I got mad at first, and then listened. I told him I want him to be happy, and I understand and will respect his decision. She's acting like an adult. I love it. He said he still sees me as who he is going to be with, but he needs time alone. So, I've been going on no contact for 2 months. He did text me about a month ago when he heard I had to go back to court again, and I waited a day but thanked him for reaching out. So, that's a good sign. He reached out when she was going through something stressful, so that shows, oh, maybe he really does care and he's really thinking about things. Well, yesterday I found out that one of his very close friends passed away in a tragic motorcycle accident. So I texted him to tell him I'm so sorry for his loss and that I was thinking of him, and if he ever needed anything, I was there for him. He responded right away with a thank you, and that this is a very sad time and it meant a lot that I reached out. I'm still going to continue no contact and wait to see if he reaches out again. But I'm feeling like no matter how many times we try this, it just doesn't work out. I feel he has an avoidant attachment style. His dad left when he was very young, and he lived with his grandparents for a while when he was little. He still does not have a good relationship with his dad. Is there any hope for this relationship? Or do I need to just let him go? Well, it's obvious to me that she really cares about this guy, right? Her behavior, she's been supportive, she's been there for him, and he can't seem to handle that closeness, and we see a pattern. I mean, he was unfaithful to his wife for a year, right? So think about that. He doesn't act like an adult in these situations where he says, I'm unhappy, I need to move on, I'm sorry, I really care about you, but this isn't working for me. But he acts selfishly, and that's not okay. You need a partner who's going to be there for you, and if they don't have integrity with somebody else, what makes you think they're going to have integrity with you? Right? Sure, sometimes there can be some complications there, but you know, I want to see somebody who acts like an adult in these kind of situations. I could see why she's frustrated. You know, this has been going on for years where she's known him, they're trying to work it out, it doesn't work. And, you know, this is a situation where it feels to me like he's being genuine, that he's being maybe not as open and honest as he could be about things. But I don't think he's leaving her for any other woman. I think he's probably going through some kind of internal struggle right now. And I do think he's got an avoidant attachment style. I mean, we heard the stuff about his early childhood with the grandparents and the dad walking out. And I really feel like this guy is depressed. And, you know, probably there's some anxiety too there. And but I feel like a strong sense of depression. So like I said earlier, situations like this can be really complicated. He's not ready to be in a romantic relationship. Should she put her life on hold? That's a personal decision. I wouldn't recommend doing it for very long. I mean, maybe if he said, hey, I'm getting counseling, I'm working on myself, and, you know, I'd like to start seeing you maybe once a week, and it was going in the right direction, that's something that you would want to think about. But I wouldn't wait anything more than a couple of months in this situation, because who knows if this guy's ever going to do the work. To be determined. So, if you want to get my help personally, go to my website, askcraig.net, sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do Skype coaching, and I do email coaching, and if you like the video, throw a like on there, and be sure to subscribe to the channel, because I do post videos Monday through Friday. That's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.